Creative people are the trusted communicators of our society, a society that is ridden with more fear, loneliness, and anxiety than ever.
We recognize that creative people and those championing their work should be honored for who they are and treated with care as they devote their lives to articulating the human experience.
My name is Samantha Jervey.
My name is Emily Falvey.
Together, we're the co-founders and co-host of Mind Over Melody, a podcast focused on wellness for artists, songwriters, and music industry professionals.
We pray our conversations can be a safe place for you to rest, grow, contemplate, and be reminded that your wellness matters first and foremost, and ultimately leads to the kind of creativity that sustains and abounds.
Thank you for listening to Season 1 of Mind Over Melody. We'd like to give a special thank you to our sponsors for this season, Truist and Porter's Call, and to our editor, Cooper Carr. The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or a qualified mental health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or mental health issue. If you are experiencing a crisis or need immediate help, please contact a local mental health service or emergency services. Other resources are available on our website at mindovermelody.com.
Hi guys, welcome to Mind Over Melody, a podcast hosted by yours truly, Samantha Jervey
And Emily Falvey.
We are so excited that you're tuning in today, and we're just really pumped to tell you more about the vision and the mission behind this podcast, what we hope to accomplish with this show, who we intend for it to serve, and really why we think it's necessary. So before we dive in, we're going to start by just sharing a bit about ourselves, starting with who the heck is speaking to you and why you would even tune in. So a little bit about me. I grew up in Virginia, but I've been in Nashville for 12 years now. I came to Nashville to go to Belmont for undergrad, go Bruins, and through that, fell into working in the music industry as so many of us do, through professors who just really believed in me before I even knew how to believe in myself. I fell into an internship at a company locally called Big Loud, and from there really had the opportunity to grow and expand and learn by sitting in various roles, including executive assistant to label A&R, into where I landed, or ended, I should say, music publishing. From there, when 2020 hit, I had this revelation of, man, life is just too boring. I think I'm going to go back to grad school. Just kidding. It wasn't boring at all, but I felt that when COVID hit, my world halted, and it made me really contemplate, as for many of us, what it was that I wanted to do with my future. So I applied, and by fall of 2020, I was enrolled in pursuing my master's of marriage family therapy. Pretty shortly after, I transitioned jobs to Capital Christian Label Group, of which I spent about 3.5 years at in their A&R department. Having recently exited the system, I have decided to really focus and pour into not only mental health advocacy for the industry, but as well as the therapy space and community itself. So having started last fall, my own private practice, Samantha Jervey Counseling, I am pouring into that while pursuing full licensure as a marriage family therapist here in the state of Tennessee under supervision. All right, and that's enough about me. Let's pivot over to you, Emily. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Hey guys, my name is Emily Falvey, and I am a staff songwriter here in Nashville. I've been writing professionally for the last 6 years for a company called Smack Songs. I just recently did my second publishing deal in April of 2023 with Warner Chappell Music as well, so I also joined the major publishing system. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have a small indie publisher that has been a champion of mine since I graduated from Belmont. Go Bruins again. Sam and I don't really remember if we even crossed paths in college. I don't really know. We haven't been able to figure out how we met. I just feel like you've always been a presence in my life that I'm really grateful for. I grew up all over the country. I moved around a lot as a kid and kind of say that I don't have a hometown, and Nashville is the home I got to choose for myself. I've lived here for almost 10 years and feel really just very blessed to be a part of this extraordinary city and all of its growth and change, and to be a part of such a crazy industry. I've found that there's a lot of frustration and emotional volatility to being a creative person. And I've learned a lot, along with Sam, through our involvement with an organization called Porter's Call. We sit on a creative council together, which is a group of young leaders. And we've sat with a lot of our colleagues and people our age and just dealt with the extreme schedules of having a rigorous job in the music industry, the high highs and the low lows, and all of the expectations that are placed upon us by the system. It's not even really any one person, but it's just the structure of the industry that we're in. And so as we've talked to people around us, we've felt the need for conversations like these of just transparency and a desire to be more open about our struggles. I think that in the Instagram era, we all make it seem like we have our shit together when we really don't. And I think that I would much rather have authentic conversations about what's really going on in the industry, as opposed to just pretending like we're killing it and crushing it and having all these wins, when a lot of the people that I know who are having the biggest wins are also the saddest. I think that if we can learn how to cope with kind of the craziness and just the expectations around this job and press into the joy that comes from making music or being the champion of music, that's kind of what I hope we can return to through these conversations.
Man, and I love that so much, Emily, because I feel that if anyone has talked to me for more than 5 or 10 minutes, they'll hear me say this phrase, but it really is this concept of both and. As Emily said, there's so many high highs in this industry, and the next moment, the next day even, you can wake up and feel really disappointed by news of something falling through, whether that's the song's taken off hold, the song was canned, we're moving a different direction, the label's decided to invest in a new sound, et cetera, you name it. But really, at the end of the day, our hope is to serve the music business as a whole, from the creatives to the marketers, from start to finish of the process, and recognize that, hey, all of these things can coexist. We can be really pumped and excited and share these amazing wins that we're really proud of, and we can embrace and acknowledge, honor, grieve parts of the business that really haven't met our expectations. I think it is a massive kind of curve when you step into the industry. Inevitably, we all carry expectations into any job, any career, any relationship. And so just acknowledging that, yeah, we're human. We're going to have feelings about when something doesn't go the way we thought it was, or when the system itself doesn't give us what we thought it could or would. And then just getting honest about, okay, so what do we need with that? And really, that's our hope, is that through our guest speakers, through the topics that we intend to cover in this season, that we'll have the opportunity to address some of those spoken conversations that Emily and I have had time and time again, as she said, with friends, colleagues, peers, and get really real about what it is that we need around that. And I think only through honest dialogue are we going to be able to collaborate and brainstorm, how do we move forward in a system that doesn't always serve us the way we had hoped.
That's so good, Sam. I think that there's a lot of unmet expectations and also things that are so far beyond what we could have asked for in this job. And when you dream of something your whole life and then you move to a big city and make that dream happen, I think there's so much joy and celebration that comes with that, but also the don't meet your heroes thing. And there's just so many aspects of working in the thing that you love the most. I saw a quote once that said, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And that was crossed out and it said, take everything extremely personally and have no boundaries. And I think that that's really real for the industry that we're in. Is music is such an extraordinary thing, but it also asks a lot of us personally. And so I'm excited to dig into these conversations with you. I couldn't think of a better partner to be on this journey with. And you might be wondering, how should you keep up with us? And we have a few different ways to do that. We have a website, mindovermelody.com. We have some social pages under @mindovermelody. And if you have questions, topics, or feedback, we created a phone number so you can reach out to us directly. If you have feedback, questions, or if you need a referral of any kind, you can reach out to us at 615-985-4898. We are so excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you in advance for your support and for listening, and we are excited to see you soon.